The previous video was about how to set up the building, or overview level. This video is about the individual levels for the 3 unit types. This building has 3 floors. Each floor has 3 units, and the 3 units per floor have the same layout. We'll only need to make 1 scene per floor, 1 for each separate unit type. I'll start with the bottom left unit. This unit is the one which is already set up as the demo project level. The unit L001 already exists. Here is the persistent dynamic level showing the keyboard mouse version of the single unit demo. The multi-unit project will not have all the furniture and decoration in it. It also doesn't need to have scenarios. I'll hide all those levels. I modified the remaining levels a bit so they can be used in both the single and the multiple unit demo scenes. The kitchen scenario had the decoration assets in it. I separated the deco assets into a new level. And I changed the scenario from a simple scenario to a multi-level scenario. This way I could still switch the kitchen scenarios with decoration while using the kitchen without decoration in the multi-unit scene. There are 2 ways to move assets from one level to another. Select all assets and then create a new level from the selected assets. Or create the new level first and then move the selected assets to the new level. I also moved the bathroom assets into the building level. There need to be a building level for each unit type, and the building level isn't very crowded. So everything fixed to the building is now in the building level. That includes windows and doors. The yard is now a separate level. The upper floors don't have a yard, but it can be seen from the windows above. The persistent level for unit type L0 is in the MUP levels folder. A double click can open it. This is initially a duplicate of the persistent dynamic level. The player start, blocking volume, and info map are part of the duplicate. I added the lighting level, the loft building level, the yard level, and the K1 kitchen level to the level browser. The scene now looks exactly the same as the single unit demo level, because all sublevels are exactly the ones used in the other scene. Keep that in mind before changing anything in these levels. There are a few more sublevels created and added to the level browser. The building should be visible if the user looks upwards. The upper floors are in the level UI3 MUPL0 Building 1. It's a copy of the building level from the overview scene with the ground floor parts deleted. The user will see those upper floors from any of the ground floor units. The user will also see parts of the neighbor units. But what exactly is seen differs from which unit he or she is in. The 3 levels in additional unit levels contain what would be seen from the units. The L001 add level is the one for unit L001. L002 add shows both sides, and L003 add shows the left-hand side of the ground floor. This will make more sense in a bit. Each unit has its own info map placed into the persistent level. The unit type levels are added to the streaming levels array. Below that array is another array named levels with transform. There are 2 levels in it. The level mentioned just before with the 2 upper floors, and the surrounding levels that is also used in the overview scene. I'll add that level quickly to the level browser. This is how it looks from further away. Unit L001 sits exactly at the right position. No transform is needed for this unit. What about the middle unit? We can make the additional level L002 add visible. But we would also have to move the entire building and the surrounding buildings to have the unit in the correct position. It's easier to offset the two levels added to the levels with transform array instead. The user won't be able to see the difference. The offset itself is taken from the data table set as editor data table units in the data management of the info map. The value for the sideways offset is the width of the unit. It may be a bit of try and error to find it. Upper levels also have a Z offset for the height position in the building. All values are negative because the surrounding is moved and not the unit. A unit-specific level can be added here as well. It will be loaded from the app blueprints. Offset and loading the unit-specific level happens only when the scene is loaded from the overview or building scene. Picking the unit will tell the unit type scene which of the 3 units of that type has been chosen by the user. This is the only way to test if all settings for all units are correct. Data source in the data management section needs to be set to the same as the overview level is set to. In this case, it is local data tables. Local data tables is best for testing the game. You can switch it to Google Sheets later if you prefer remote data management. More about this in a separate quick guide video. Or read the section in the documentation if you don't want to wait. User management needs to be set to from MUP save slot. The user is set in the overview scene and then being transferred to the unit scene, together with the unit ID. It wouldn't make sense to switch the user here. Server name and data tables need to be the same here as set for the overview scene. The game settings should ideally also be set in the overview levels. Untick Apply Game Defaults in the Settings Game section. This tick box is an interim solution until a better way to share settings is implemented. The Plan button shows the floor plan of the unit with the usual teleport locations. The Unit widget is used to display the unit specs. It's the same widget as the one displayed in the unit picker, but without the travel button. It depends on the data tables and reads out the MUP save slot to show the correct unit. So it won't work for all units unless the player comes from the overview scene. The Finishes panel has a design scheme and a designer widget to change floor, door, and wall finishes. The Kitchen Designer allows fine-tuning of the kitchen materials. The kitchen sublevel is the same used in the single-unit demo. Also, the designer data table is reused in the multi-unit scenes. Next is the Cost widget. It gives an up-to-date cost estimate for all selections made by the user at this point. It depends on the unit given from the MUP save slot for the unit price. The user can print a CSV or HTML file. The data would be sent to a Google Sheet if the data source is set to Remote Sheets. The report is also sent to the output log for a quick check during development. The text can be copied into Notepad if no file plugin is installed. Rename the Notepad file to Cost CSV, for example, so it can be opened in Excel or sent to Google Sheets. The Tools button contains the Dynamic Sun widget, the Screenshot widgets, the Save slots, and Inventory list or data table export buttons. Settings are next. The Scene Quality widget may be removed if the Apply Game Settings tick box is disabled. The Navigation button, at last, allows drone mode, quit the app, or going back to the building overview scene to select another unit. The other 2 unit type levels need to be set up next. The middle floor type level is called UI3 MUP L1P. The layout is similar but with 2 bedrooms on the upper floor and the bathroom moved in between the 2 bedrooms. All geometry and the bathroom fit-outs are in the building level. A railing is added to allow using the same full-size sliding windows used on the ground floor. There are only 3 levels in the level browser: the building level, the lighting level, and the kitchen level. The levels sit on the same spot than the lower unit type levels. I'll add the surroundings level to demonstrate this. Zooming out shows the unit sitting on the same left ground floor unit position. This way the same kitchen level can be used in all unit types and units. This made it easier to create the 9 units for the demo project. Every unit type level has its own info map. The 3 levels mentioned are added to the streaming levels array. The same 2 levels as in unit type L0 are added to the levels with transform array. Playing the level directly will not apply the transform from the data table, as the editor doesn't know which unit this is meant to be. Playing from the overview level will show the surrounding area placed correctly. In this case, for the middle of the 3 L1 units. The unit type level gets the selected unit ID from the MUP save slot, which then allows to apply the correct offset to the surrounding levels. The top unit type level is called UI3 MUP L2P. This unit type has a reduced height and only 1 floor. It's set up the same way as the L1 level, having its own building level. It only shows the correct view when played from the overview map. The scenes share some data and levels. Not just to reduce the work, but also to reduce the risk of mistakes and inconsistency between the scenes. All data tables for the units are shared. Also shared are the data tables for the UI, for the features with preview and designers. Save slots can be shared by giving the unit scenes the same save set ID. This way the user can make his selections in one unit and then apply it to the next unit. Use the Elements Quantity overwrite in the Info Map Designer section to adjust the quantity for a specific unit type. Designers and features with preview can be shared. Designers work with a tag name instead of linking the variation actors directly. The final video of this little quick guide series will be about remote data access from Google Sheets.